Okay, everybody, before we begin, I just want to mention the required risk disclaimer concerning Forex and futures. And I'm putting it right up here for your view. Just keep in mind that there is a high level of risk, and it may not be suitable for all investors. The high degree of leverage can work against you as well as for you. Before deciding to invest in foreign exchange, you should carefully consider your investment objectives, level of experience, and risk appetite, and I think you could read the rest. Alright? And by the way, I'm adding this in. Don't trade with money that you cannot afford to lose. That's very important. Alright, now let's get to it. FXLiveDayTrading.com. I want to do a video today, and this is regarding the Australian versus the US dollar. And I'm going to just look at the ES. This is the December 19th contract. This is the ES E-mini futures trading contract. For those of you who are not familiar with futures, basically they run along correlation as a trading vehicle moves up and down, and the leverage is typically significantly higher than if it was, let's say, such a stock. In other words, they have stock futures. You could buy Amazon stock futures rather than just utilizing the stock to gain a lot more leverage. So it can be a best friend and it can be a worst enemy. So they can also simulate indexes. In this case, we have the S&P 500 index. Okay, so that's called the ES, which stands for the E-mini, and then abbreviated S&P. So the reason I'm bringing these charts up, on the left we have the Australian versus the USD. Okay, and this here is hourly chart, and on the right is the hourly chart for the ES. Now this is becoming a bit confusing to some people who rely on that correlation when they trade to help give them signals to trade. And as we look here at the 4-hour on the ES, we see clearly an uptrend. And as we look on the Australian versus the USD on the 4-hour, we see clearly a downtrend taking place. Okay, so we had a topping pattern here, and then now we're just making our way down. So why is this happening, some of you may be asking? Because typically we have the risk on, which would be the ES moving higher, and then we have the Australian dollar moving lower. Well, there could be many different reasons, and one reason could be that the stock futures at this point are really just not in touch with this trade Chinese agreement right now. It seems like Forex has a clearer idea of geopolitical events than stock markets do. You're just having smarter and bigger money that trade foreign exchange currencies. Now that doesn't mean that someone may be trading Forex with $1,000 account. That we're not talking about that. We're talking about the big banks that have the ability and the insight and the capability to move markets on the biggest level, typically are involved with foreign exchange currencies. So I look at currencies to give me a little bit of a clearer picture of what I may expect from stocks. In other words, the Australian dollar is selling. I want to find out why. You know, if other ones are selling, like the New Zealand dollar, if the dollar versus the yen is selling. This could be a prerequisite of what we may expect to see in the stock market for that trading day. So that is just food for thought to kind of use another tool in our arsenal to try and gauge a short-term direction of where we may be headed. Now, nothing is always 100% as we know, but the more indicators that we may use to gather and assess the situation, the higher our percent of winning will be, providing the criteria that we're looking at has, validity towards our goals. Alright, so I wanted to just bring that about because a lot of people, at least in the past, you trade foreign exchange currencies for quite some time, you'll remember that, stocks move higher, so do the Australian versus the US dollar, or the Australian versus the Japanese yen. But we're not seeing that. And again, it's a complicated issue of what's going on in China. We also have the Fed recently toying with the interest rates in the US. It just complicates the situation and, gives traders a pause and a timeout to really determine what their next strategy is. And I don't know if the markets have really, how can I say, determined which direction they're going to take this. Are we going to break above 3,100? Are we going to just consolidate here and then make a move down? We had that cup and handle, and that cup and handle was on the ES. And if you look here, well, let's click this and let's get to the higher candles. I'm going to jump to the daily chart. Take a look at the daily chart. You know what? I'm going to go to the weekly. Here's a weekly chart. We had a cup. We had a handle. We broke. So now we're kind of getting that indecisive candle right here at the top. And, this here, okay, hopefully you can see that pretty good, but this candle here is the weekly candle. We're going to see how that closes, because that's going to be interesting. If that candle closes, and it kind of has, I call it an indecisive candle, it basically looks like a cross, and we may just start our week lower. So we're going to watch and see that, and typically that's a good topping candle. Now let's go ahead and get to this Aussie here. Okay, we have here a 15-minute chart gradually making its way lower. Just trying to, I don't know why this is not blinking, but whatever. So the bottom line is, what I was going to do here is I was going to bring up the weekly and then look at the candle, but I know that there's not an indecisive candle. Basically the candle here is a red candle, okay, and that's on the Aussie dollar. So keep this in mind. Let's see where we close today. It's only 12:23 p.m. We'll see where we close out the week. I'll be doing some videos this week, and I'll post them in the members section just to give a more thorough opinion of where I feel the market could be headed next week with some key levels. But I hope this helped out there, those who are looking to gauge a direction, grab an opinion, and then use it how they wish. Hope this helped you. FXLiveDayTrading.com. Have a wonderful day.